Hey everybody, this is Toby Younis with the Gypsy's Kiss. We're going to have a good time on the Forrest Fenn Friday Fenndango. Got a bunch more questions that I've got to answer and some voicemails that we're going to have to deal with. Of course, I'll set it up so you can call in a little while. Couple of hours of nothing but me and Forrest Fenn. Stick with us. Kool-Aid, we're on the right track. So,
housekeeping, you want towel?
You want some towels? Let's do a quick little bit of housekeeping, which I've been forgetting in the past few episodes. So first of all, remember that at some point during this or afterwards, make sure to like our presentation. YouTube likes it when you like our video, and of course, we like it when you like our videos. In addition to that, if you're not already a subscriber, make sure you click on that subscribe button, and when you see the notifications bell, click on the notifications bell, and that way, whenever we start a new live stream, you will be immediately informed, and you can join us and the rest of our friends in the chat room. And finally, please share this with your family, friends, neighbors, business associates, and social networks so that we can keep growing the channel. By the way, I do want to thank you. We just went over 3,900 subscribers, and I want to say thanks to all the people that have entrusted us with their subscriptions. We hope we can continue to live up to your expectations for us, and we want to keep producing some quality content for you. Okay, as I said. Oh, and finally, don't forget, there's a little button at the bottom of the screen, the $ icon, where if you want, you can click on that icon and you'd like your question highlighted in the chat room. And I'll tell you, it's really hard for me to see the questions in the chat room simply because it's scrolling by so quickly. So if you want to highlight it, contribute a couple of bucks, it'll highlight it. Make sure you ask a question. Take advantage of that opportunity. In addition to that, at 9 o'clock tonight, if you're on, I think it's on ABC, our friend John Wayne Bobbitt is the subject of a 3-part documentary. He and his ex, I think her name is Marina, if I remember correctly. It's been a while. We were living in the Virginia suburbs at the point at which that was big news. But apparently they're doing a 3-part documentary on that story. And John, and he's gone through some hard times, and he didn't always have the best of reputations for a broad variety of reasons. And I think he made some probably life mistakes in making some of the decisions, but he's basically a good person. He comes to Albuquerque, and when he comes to Albuquerque, he visits with us. And I feel when I'm talking with him, I always feel like I'm talking with one of my sons and wanting to give them advice. So take a look at that. I'm sure that you can see the replay on the various media. I will be finished before 9 o'clock. So because I want to take a look at it, I promised him. He reminded me today with a text message, and I promised him that I would watch it. Hang on, I need to make a quick change to my phone because it's timing out, and I don't want it to time out because I want to read some of those text messages, and I want you guys to send some more text messages, and I want you guys. So the phone is off. The phone line is off right now. But wait a minute here. Give me a second. And let's change this to never. So that stays on. And of course, if you want to send a text message right now, you can send. I do have some voicemails that we're going to play. So if you want to send a text message right now, you can send it to 866-597-9901 with your questions. It is far easier for me to see your questions on my phone in front of me than it is to try to catch them in the chat room. In addition to that, you can still, at this moment, call that number and leave a voicemail, and I'll play the voicemail online. After I've done with all that, reading the messages that came to the hotline and playing the voicemail, then I'll open it up, and if you feel like calling and chatting this evening, please feel free to do so. We want to talk about all things Forrest Fenn. without the drama, of course, because we're not dramatic people, are we? I want to say hi to my business partner, Shelley Carney. And tonight, she's in the room as the softer side. Be gentle with her. Let me give her, let's see, Shelley Carney. Where's my Shelley Carney? See, that's how my life feels whenever she comes through the door on our Tuesdays and Thursdays, which feels like Princess Leia coming in. And then she gets me to do stuff. Then she makes me work. So, but we're having a great time right now because we submitted our Udemy course last night for certification. We're hoping that by next week it'll be approved. I'm going to play the promo video for you here in just a minute so that you can see what we're doing. Because we did build our first Udemy course and we had so much fun with it. We're going to build more. And I think I told you the other day that it was the result of that dinner that we had with Louise Croft. She's let's see. Oh, I'll never remember her name. Digital Nomad Girl. Louise Croft, Digital Nomad Girl on YouTube TV. And basically she travels the world and makes video vlogs about it. And so I think I mentioned that when we talked with her that evening, she brought up the point that most of her income comes from Udemy courses. And she gave us a number. And I'm not going to share that for you because I don't believe she'd expect me to do that. But it was a remarkable number, and so it interested Shelley and I. I didn't pay much attention to it, but Shelley took it seriously, and she Louise had given us a coupon to take one of her Udemy courses about making Udemy courses, and it was very efficient. Shelley took it, and she came back really excited and came back with some ideas. So our first Udemy course has 37 lectures. It has 2.5 hours worth of video, and basically what we're sharing is all the tools that we use on OBS and a Gypsy's Kiss, including the slide presentations and all of that, and we basically share all our technical secrets. I don't want to give you the impression that they're that secret, but we're going to the course, the 2.5 hours of videos. I think there's, I don't know, about a third of them are lectures and presentations, and then 2/3 are screencasts about how I do all of this stuff and how you can do it too if you ever have an interest in making a YouTube channel and building a community. These are all the tools that you need. So we submitted that course. We finished it up Thursday. What's today? Friday. So we finished it up last night, submitted it last night. You have to fill out a certification paper that guarantees you are who you are and that you own this content. So we submitted that, and between the two of them, it takes 2 days each to get them approved. Unfortunately, it's not 2 concurrent days. It's 2 days followed by 2 days. So it should be approved sometime next week. When it is approved, Shelley and I have promised that we'll announce it on one of our shows, and we'll give you, if anyone's interested in taking it, we'll give you a coupon, with a discount on the course. They're not that expensive to begin with. But if you're interested in some of the things that we do on our channel and you'd like to implement some of these, they're mostly about branding. It's not just the technology, OBS and Zoom and things like that, the tools that we use, the camera that we use, everything. So it's all in there, and if when we announce it and it's available, anybody who wants to be, who wants a copy of it, I'll mention the coupon and give you a coupon code so that you can take the course at a discount. Okay? So, as Shelley says, if you want to be sure that I see your question, please text it to me. It is far easier for me to see it on my phone. And our 1-800 number, or 1-866-597-9901. And you'll see it scroll every once in a while in the lower third beneath me here. So take advantage of that. Okay, so let me play this promo video for you so you get an idea of what we're talking about on our course. Of course, I had Shelley do the promo video because she's prettier than me. I know that's hard to believe, but yes, she's definitely prettier than me. So let me play this promo video, and it takes, I think it's 2.5 minutes long. Just watch it, and if you have questions, we'll answer them afterwards. And again, you can text questions, but we're going to give you a coupon if you want to take the course yourself. And like I said, it's 2.5 hours of video instruction. There's 37 lectures. About a third of them are lectures with presentation, and then about 2/3 of them are screencasts. So we think it's a pretty good course for our first try. Okay, hang on. So let's watch this promo video, and we'll talk about it afterwards. Okay? I know this doesn't have anything to do with Forrest Fenn, but it's a Gypsy's kiss. And by the way, this is our main brand. Video Tarot LLC is my corporation. It goes back to 1979. And so we use the Video Tarot LLC brand on our Udemy courses. So that's why you're going to see Video Tarot LLC and not a Gypsy's kiss. So here we go.
Hello and welcome to Livestream Like a Boss for home-based entrepreneurs. I'm Shelley Carney. My business partner, Toby, Younis, and I have been creating digital marketing products and live stream videos together for the past 5 years. Toby is a retired professional in B2B and B2G sales, marketing, and video products. And I'm a certified integrative wellness and life coach specializing in life and relationship coaching through live video. Together, Toby and I have built several YouTube channels which resulted in communities where our loyal and valued tribe members have the opportunity to connect, converse, and come together as supportive friends. The amazing thing about this course, Livestream Like a Boss, is that anybody can follow along with our instructions and begin live streaming from home to build an audience of potential clients for their business. Not only will you be able to share your message with the world, you will be able to do it with professional audio, video, and lighting from your current home office space. But the best part is, there's no editing. That means you can live stream or record videos as often as you like without spending hours or even days editing before you can upload them, saving you time and giving you the advantage of instant communication. In Livestream Like a Boss, we'll cover online sales and marketing tips, basic equipment you'll need, and how to set it up at home, professionally branding your live or recorded videos, and what you need to know about live streaming on YouTube. You'll see that we recorded most of our videos for this course using the same methods we will share with you. We have easy-to-follow screencast videos to show you exactly what to do on your computer, as well as written instructions, so every student can learn in the style that suits them best. We created Livestream Like a Boss especially for home-based entrepreneurs, coaches, speakers, teachers, and team leaders who want to reach out to their community using live video to connect with and inspire their viewers. You don't need to be a tech guru to live stream videos to your tribe when you use the simple methods we've built and tested ourselves over the past 5 years. Enroll in Livestream Like a Boss today and you'll be on your way to reaching your target audience on a whole new level.
Okay, so that's just a teaser. Like I said, we haven't actually had it approved yet, so I'm not going to give you the price. It's very inexpensive, and when we finally announce it, we'll announce it here first, and we'll give you a coupon for a discount, a significant discount on the first one. So anyway, so that's enough about us tonight. I've got some questions to get to, and I do want to get to the chat room. So let me go say hi to everybody first in the chat room. Oh, I missed Brit Chaser. Hey, Toby. It's 2 a.m. here. Brit Chaser. Sorry we missed you. I got to hear your song, dadgummit. So now I'm going to save that for 23 Monarcha when he comes in and he starts doing biblical stuff. Brit says, hi, Shelley. Happy New Year. Look forward to visiting. Oh, there he is, 23 Monarcha. Hello, everyone. Steve Gahaken, hi. How are you doing, sir? Bill Cross, Journeyman. David S. Have I seen that name before? And then, of course, Davio. Theme song. And there's our good friend, Michael Hool, coming in from, well, he says good morning, so I'm going to guess he's back in Japan. Let's greet him with this. Michael's song. So I've been stealing a lot from Star Wars because I had a Star Wars thing over the holidays and I had to watch them all over again. Not that I'm a big Star Wars fan. I just, it's because, I don't know if you recall, Shelley and I talked about the hero's journey or the hero's story. The first Star Wars, the one with Luke Skywalker, is the classic implementation, George Lucas's implementation of the hero story. If you ever want to see the hero story in action, just watch the first version of Star Wars. Classic hero story. Right out of Joseph Campbell. Okay, somebody calling Mile High. Hello from Denver. Hi, Mile High. When we were in Santa Fe, we used to say, so what? We're at, 7,000 feet in Santa Fe. Hard to breathe there. Joe CNND. So Joe C in North Dakota. Maybe. Gary Sandberg. Hey, there's my partner, the softer side. Lorena Bobbitt. That's right, not Marina. Lorena Bobbitt. Davio and Callie. Silver Fox. I can almost see you from here, Mile High. Yeah, I can. Steve Gahagan. I already said hi. K-Pro in the room. K-Pro's in the room. Joe C. in North Dakota. Shelley is what I strive to find in a woman. You know what? That would be a good thing for you to do because she's fun to be with. AJ Rainville, you're pretty too. I don't know. Is that a compliment? So, Joel Lewicki, our attorney friend from Minnesota. Nice to see you again. Joel, I responded to your email. I think we did have a conversation, or we did a show on ciphers, but it was related to the ciphers that we were creating for our treasures. We've never talked about the Fenn treasure in the context of ciphers. And the reason is because I come from that field. We tried it early on. I tried it early on, and I just wasn't making any headway. Let's see who else did it say? Oscar Rodriguez. Hi, Shelley and Toby. Marty Bird. Hey there. Marty, I can't tell you I won't tell you the amount of the course. It's not very expensive because it isn't certified yet. They haven't approved it. So I would hate to give you a number, and they have the final decision on the cost of the course. Udemy does that. But what I will guarantee you is that whatever it is, the next time when it's out, we'll give you a code for a 50% discount coupon if you want to take it. Okay? Oh, Shelley already told you. Retail for $25. So that's why I wasn't going to say it because we submitted it at $24.99, but they have final based on based on their experience, they actually finished pricing the course. Ramblin' Pam is in the room. Man, is she rambling. So I saw her latest interview with Forrest regarding his art gallery experience, his experience as a gallery owner. It was another great interview she did. What was interesting to me is it looked like he invited her over, and she shoots all her stuff, I think, on her smartphone, and just decided, let's go with this, and went with her smartphone and actually got him to talk a lot. I'm very impressed. And I think the video said part 1 of 2, so we'll get to see another one. Anyway, if I didn't get a chance. I was at the VA today doing a dental checkup, so I saw it, and I'm not good at the finger typing, so I didn't leave you a message. But Pam, it was another great piece of work. And if you guys haven't seen any of Ramblin' Pam's work on YouTube, please go. She puts a lot of work into it. She works hard. And I think the idea of producing content for YouTube, to her several months ago was brand new, but she's evolving into quite the content producer. So we want to grow her channel. We want to help her grow her channel. So make sure you go over there, watch her videos, and subscribe. I know you'll be glad you did. Christina Jarrett. Why does that sound familiar? Oh, Valerie Jarrett. That's why. I knew Valerie Jarrett. I know Valerie Jarrett. Let's see. Britt Chaser, son of a gun. I don't know if you heard his song. You need to do panels again, Toby. Yes, Britt Chaser. I promised I was not going to start spending. Let's see. Ramblin' Pam. Christina Jarrett. Toby, she loves the show. Thank you, Christina. I love doing it too. Covert One in the room. Wow. I see him on the chats. It's rare that he comes into the room. So, hey, Covert One, welcome. Haven't seen you. Let's see. Brit Chaser. Oh, Brit Chaser, I thought you were going to bed. I'm going to play your song again for you so you know. Christina Jarrett's from Mableton, Georgia. I don't know what part of town, what part of the state is that. And actually, I would be hesitant to tell you that I know anything except Atlanta and that suburb in Atlanta that was very developing very nicely. Let me see if I can remember it. Because I had clients down there. Coca-Cola was one of my clients, and Duke Energy. And the other energy company, what was fun about the two energy companies in Atlanta is in one energy, all the engineers graduated from Georgia Tech, and then the other energy company, whatever it was, and again, it's been so long I don't remember, they all graduated from the University of Georgia. And so there was this, they had maintained their competitiveness as they moved to the respective energy companies. And I remember, having to deal with conversations about who was not only a better energy company, but who was a better football team, University of Georgia, Georgia Tech. So I used to use that to play against them. I'd always say to one that, that other company just bought a lot of products from me and they're going to go ahead of you in this technology. So I'd use that as a tool. That's just good sales, not illegal sales. Let's see. Ramblin' Pam, you are growing. I've seen you guys are up to what? You went over 2,000 on the K-Pro Kyle Lazar's channel. That's pretty good. West of Atlanta, not close to the water. Somebody's message got held for review. What is it that you said, Mr. Held for Review? Who was that? Okay, they probably Buckhead. That was a place. I used to stay at the Crown Royal in Buckhead. Great hotel, great location, lots of nightlife. I miss that. Go Dogs, yeah. The Bulldogs, right? Go Canes. Okay, Mike can make it some in 20 minutes. Okay, so if I start snoring. You don't start a conversation by saying, I'm coming to visit you, but I snore. That's not a great way to get an invitation back. So... okay, so let me go to the questions and the voicemails. Let me turn down my cell phone volume here just a little bit so I don't blow you guys out. And we'll talk about those because they are Fenn-related, and so far we haven't talked about Fenn-related stuff, huh? So I hope you guys just do what you're doing in the room that you're doing it. Let me go back to the bottom. All right. So some of these aren't questions. They're just kind of statements, but I'm going to read them anyway. This person didn't leave their name. So 702, if you're from area code 702, text me now and tell me what your name is and where you're calling from. Anybody know what 702 is? He says, hey, Toby, there is no doubt in my mind that the spot is just a fave location of forests. The poem was then reverse engineered from the location, probably a place he fished or looked at. We actually have another question on this that somebody else asked. The poem could therefore fit thousands of locations, therefore so many viable solutions without knowing his fave spot. It's literally a needle in a haystack and always will be. The poem is of limited significance. Thoughts? I told you guys, I think I've already said I'm just going to get myself in trouble because of this. But my thoughts are on the matter of the poem is that he over-engineered it. He didn't realize it. I think that was part of the naivete. I think he over-engineered it. And I think if you're Forrest Fenn, you know what all those things mean. And if you're not Forrest Fenn, you could spend a lifetime trying to figure out what he had in his head. And all you have to do is read a poem from one of the pick any poet of renown from the early Greek poets to contemporary poets. Read their poems because they're all metaphors, right? Read their poems and read any segment of poem. Read Shakespeare. Take anything from Shakespeare. Take 9 how long is a poem? 24 lines. Pick any 24 lines in anything that was written by Shakespeare and see if you can figure out what he's talking about. Even though it might apply, it's even more metaphor because even Shakespeare's work was multiple layers deep. And that's the struggle. We're not Shakespeare. We're not Forrest Fenn, and trying to figure out what he was thinking in his head when he represented those clues is a monster. And I don't want to say that that was the reason we gave up, that it was too hard. We gave up because we hadn't come to any conclusion about the clues after the first two, and we had no guarantees that even those were correct. So in some sense, I agree with you. It is a needle in a haystack, but more complex, if you could possibly be. Okay, so this guy called us. So this is 847. Oh, it's Michael. Oh, he gave me his last name. So he left a voicemail, but I can't play his voicemail because he not only left his last name, but he left his phone number. So let me just read this real quick. So this is the transcript of the voicemail. Let me read it real quick and see what he says. Yeah, Toby, it's Michael, last name. I'm up in Illinois, Chicagoland area. I want to ask you a few questions. Just wondering if you want to give me a call back. And then he gives his number. Then he follows up. Please either text. Oh, I sent him a message and I said, please, Michael, please either text your questions or leave them in a voicemail and I'll address them on the Friday night show. Then he responded with another voicemail and he said, hey, Toby, name is Michael, last name. I left a message yesterday and I'm assuming this phone number is just for leaving messages. You may not give me a call back if you could. I appreciate somehow the transcript fell up. And he gave me his phone number again. So I responded, but I just noticed that my response says message failed to send. So he must be calling from a landline rather than a cell phone, I imagine. So if you're Michael from Illinois, whose area code begins with 847, later you can do one of several things. Right now, you can call and leave a voicemail with your questions, Michael, or you can text your questions and I can read them then, or you can wait until I turn on the phone and then you can call me and we can have a conversation. Okay? It is very unlikely that I'm going to call you back and have a conversation about Forrest Fenn, right? Or the treasure or anything else. So just leave them here. I'll address them and then we'll go from there. So this is from my friend Patricia. She says, Feliz Año Nuevo. Le deseo lo mejor para este mil 2000. Para ti y toda tu familia, Patricia. She says, I want the best for you in 2019, in this coming year, for you and your family. She signed Patricia. I responded, muchísimas gracias. Le deseo lo mismo a ustedes y a su familia también. She said, gracias. So she's from, what 7651. That sounds familiar. Okay. Okay, let me just see. Here's a voicemail. But I don't want to play it if we don't. It doesn't have numbers. Okay, so we've got a voicemail. I don't have a name. Okay, so this voicemail is from area code 251. If that's you, send me a text, and I'm going to play the voicemail now, and then you can send me a text and tell me who you are. Okay? So here we go. I'm going to check the volume.
Yeah, I called you earlier about that seeing a female. Might have been one of the 200, one of the persons within 200 feet. You can tell I'm still not doing real good. I was trying to look up, this is RJ from Alabama.
RJ
I was trying
from
to look
Alabama.
up what you were talking about. I don't know, I can't find what you said. Either you were saying you're going to do me2you.com or newtome.com, or you've done something with youtube.com. Did I not hear you right? I was just trying to...
Trying to find. Okay, so he did say his name. It's RJ from Alabama, and RJ, it's udemy.com. That's where we're putting our courses. It's udemy.com. Udemy.com. He said he has another message in there about the 200 foot. Oh, there it is. So let me play that as well.
Hey, I have something on the 200-foot searcher. I'm not feeling too well. I've got bronchitis. I went to walk-in clinic yesterday, so trying to watch some stuff and whatever. But not feeling great. But anyhow, at the Moby Dickens book signing, somewhere in about the first third of that video, he's asked something about that, who's been closer, or something about the 200 foot. And he does mumble one thing that nobody else pushes him on. He says she would probably faint if she knew. Something to that effect. Just thought I'd drop that on you. All right, bye.
Okay. So let me...
Well, I'm guessing it's probably Stephanie, but I don't know if she was at that signing or not. I don't know if you were. All right, bye.
Okay. So I had another message on that. Hold on, let me see if it's the same guy. So that was RJ in Alabama. He was asking about the 200. This is from Dan in North Carolina. What are your thoughts on the 200? Okay, so let me go back and answer this question. I was both at Collected Works in October of 2013. I recorded them. I recorded Collected Works I recorded the video at Collected Works in October 2013, and I recorded the video at Moby Dickens in November 2nd of 2013. I can tell you that Stephanie 30acre, who runs the Chase Chat forum, was at Collected Works in October, but was not at Moby Dickens in November. At Collected Works, at some point, now you'll have to go back and look at the Collected Works video, but Fenn is sitting up on the dais with Michael McGarity, one of his friends, and Douglas Preston. And as usual, Fenn was having to have help with the questions that were asked from the audience. And at some point, Stephanie 30acre raised her hand, stood up. He acknowledged her. She stood up, and she said, Forrest, who's been closer, Dal or me? And she mispronounced Dale Neitzel's name. She was referring to Dale. Dale was not there that night. But she wanted to know who had been close. She knew that Dale was very close to Forrest, et cetera, et cetera. And she asked him who had been closer, Dale or her. As soon as she spoke the question, the audience started laughing, not at her, but with her, like, oh, that's a funny question. And Fenn didn't actually hear the entire question. So he leaned over, and you'll see this all in the video, and you'll actually hear it because I had a microphone on that table. And you'll hear him lean over to McGarity and ask him, what did she say? And McGarity says, Fenn asks McGarity, what did she say? McGarity responds, and he says, she asked who's been closer, and he mispronounces Dale's name. He says, Dal or her. And McGarity didn't seem to know who she was, right? She didn't know there was a connection. He didn't know there was a connection here. And Fenn did not respond to the audience. He said to McGarity, oh, if I told her that, she'd have a heart attack. Those were his words. He never, that question never got responded to in the audience. The only reason I picked it up is because I had A, a microphone on that desktop, and B, I had headphones on, so I heard the whole conversation. So that's when that happened. It is in the transcript. I don't know if you guys have seen the transcript of that event, but the conversation is in the transcript. Now, at Moby Dickens, somebody did ask him about the 200-foot searcher, and he responded to it, but he responded to it kind of like, you can't pick it up, even though I had a microphone then. He doesn't pick it up completely. I'd have to look it up. I'll take a look at my transcript, but I'm not going to do it now. And he says something about heart attack then too. But I don't think he was referring to. I don't think he was answering the question. I don't think he knew what the question was. So, but the whole she'd have a heart attack was not in reference to the 200-foot searcher. It was in reference to whether or not Stephanie had been closer than Dale. Okay, at some point in the treasure hunt. And again, his response to McGarity in response to Stephanie's questions was, if I told her that, she'd have a heart attack. So take that in whatever way you will. Okay, so let's go back to our questions here. And I have several. Okay. This is from BC in Florida. Rats. All right. So this is from BC in Florida. Aren't you embarrassed that you're chasing in on Fenn's name? He must meant cashing in on Fenn's name. Aren't you embarrassed? So that's an interesting question. All right. I am not embarrassed about what I'm doing. My job over the period of time that I've invested in the treasure hunt has been to produce research-based, high-quality content related to the search. So I don't feel like I'm cashing in on Fenn. So let me answer this in two ways. This is way number one. I don't feel like I'm cashing in on Fenn's name any more than anyone is cashing in on Fenn's name who builds a YouTube channel around the Fenn treasure. If he didn't want people to talk about his treasure, then he shouldn't have put a treasure out there, right? It just so happens that if you produce consistent quality content, then YouTube rewards you, not because you're talking about Forrest Fenn, but because you're getting views and watch time and people are clicking on advertising, etc., etc., etc. It has nothing to do, cashing in has nothing to do with Forrest Fenn. We're where we are. And by the way, when you say cashing in, trust me, when you only have 3,900 subscribers, and one of the reasons we got out of doing this was you're not cashing in. You know, you're making enough to pay for the occasional trip up into the boonies to look for the treasure. But we're not cashing in on Fenn's name. We're cashing in on our ability to produce quality content, to generate views, generate watch time, generate advertising clicks, and that's where the money comes from. It's not coming out of Fenn, and it's certainly not coming. It's not money that anyone would spend on us versus spending on Forrest Fenn or his books or anything else. You're not paying it. The viewer doesn't pay. YouTube pays for it. The only payment you're making is that you're sitting there watching what I'm saying or what Shelley and I are saying. So nobody's cashing in on Fenn's name. Secondly, you have to put it in the context of Forrest Fenn. And again, I'm going to try to say this in a non-offensive way. Forrest Fenn made his living primarily in two ways. Number one, he spent 20 years in the service, which I respect because I spent time in the service. But I also know that I didn't make money then. I earned the taxpayer's reward for my providing that service as he did. So you're not making a name for yourself. You're serving the country. And then he made the majority of his money. He became rich and famous as a result of owning and managing a gallery in New Mexico containing paintings and other objects of art and anthropology that were not his. So in a way, he cashed in on the names of those painters and the manufacturers, the craftsmen who created those artifacts. But in America, that's okay. Nobody asks you if you're cashing in on Gilbert Gall's name or what's his name, Fashion, who's one of his favorite artists. I mean, he made Fashion's art worthwhile, and at the same time, he profited by it. So he was making money off, he was cashing in, if you will. I'm going to use that, and I don't mean, I respect cashing in. If you can figure out how to cash in on somebody else's talent, Well, honestly, that's mostly what we do in America is we cash in on other people's talent. If you're an executive at Ford Motor Company, you're actually cashing in on the talent of every one of those workers down on the assembly line, et cetera, et cetera. That's kind of capitalism. That's what it is. And you benefit them back by paying them. And so when he would buy Fashions paintings, Fashion or his family or the people that he bought the paintings from would be benefit by that. So cashing in is a very, very harsh way to describe what we do, what anyone else does on YouTube, and what Forrest Fenn did. We're not cashing in on anybody's name. We're working hard to produce a unique product that YouTube recognizes with revenue, and it doesn't hurt anybody. It's not costing anyone anything, including Forrest Fenn. It's not taking food out of Forrest Fenn's mouth or revenue from the money that the wealth that he's built on behalf of his family. It's not hurting anybody. So I don't feel like we're cashing in. I'm sorry if I went too far, and that was probably a little bit too far. But you asked, so I'm going to answer. Okay, next question. So that was to BC, and Florida. So this is from Dan in North Carolina. Was that Dan, the last guy? Oh, no, he was from Alabama. So Dan in North Carolina, what are your thoughts on the 200-foot searcher? Yeah. Okay, so my position on the 200-foot searcher is that it was one person. I'm going to go with Fenn's part of this, right? It was one person who came within 200 feet of the treasure. And it was funny because he uses this phrasing that's really weird. He said it was a person that was in 200 feet of the searcher or the treasure, but he wasn't a searcher. And what you have to look at is the way that he constructed that sentence. And what he probably meant was he is no longer a searcher, right? And he was within 200 feet, didn't know it. Fenn never told him, and that was the last guy's search. Now, there's other commentary on that particular topic that I have no way of validating. I'm just using Fenn's words. The person, was 200 feet from the treasure, didn't know it, I didn't tell him, and he never went looking. That was his last search. Here's what I think about that searcher. I think that searcher is dead. And the reason I think that searcher is dead is because I don't think Fenn would say the things that he says about him in any context, whether it's validated or not. I don't think Fenn would talk about the 200-foot searcher if the 200-foot searcher was still alive, and here's why. Sooner or later, that person who knows they were searching before 2012 and were close to the treasure would go back again and look that treasure, and Fenn has said, he's never gone back since. You know why? He's dead. The 200-foot searcher is dead. There may have been at one time a 200-foot searcher. It may very well have been one person. It may have been someone, all these other things I don't have validated. It may have been someone that Fenn said that knew him really well. But the simple fact of the matter is Fenn would not be talking about that if that guy wasn't dead. Why? Because two people can keep a secret if one of them is dead. And with the amount of notoriety that Fenn has, with the amount of visibility that he gets, don't you think as often as he's talked about that 200-foot searcher, including, last I recall, it came up as it's come up in conversations for almost every article that's been written about Fenn and the treasure. But I remember him bringing it up at the Lure in front of our cameras. You can go back to the Lure, and one of his responses dealt with a 200-foot searcher. The guy's dead. So don't waste your time looking for him. So there. You asked my opinion. That's my opinion. Let's see. So this one is from area code 612, no name. So area code 612. Any opinion on the K-Pro Jason Dent situation? No, I have no opinion on him. I like them both, and I don't like beating up on other people that for which the facts I am not aware of. And honestly, I wouldn't interpret them in the same way, right? I've been with Fenn. I've asked him questions. I get no answers any better than anyone else. And like I said in my last show, if I felt like Fenn was giving me clues or hints, I would at that point come to the conclusion that I was nowhere near the treasure. Otherwise, he wouldn't give me clues or hints. If I'm close to the treasure and he knows that I'm close to the treasure, then he's not going to give me clues or hints, because that would screw up the record. If somebody who finds the treasure is one of those people who has been given clues or hints, his legacy is darkened, if you will. It'll be the legacy of, and I don't want to say Cynthia, but let's say Cynthia finds the treasure. Do you know what people are going to say? Fenn helped her. So if you think Fenn is giving you hints to where the treasure is, and it isn't his standard, have you seen the webcam on what's that geyser? It's only the most important geyser in Yellowstone. What is it? That hint that he uses. He always tells people, have you seen the webcam on Old Faithful? Right? He's said that to 100 people. Well, I don't want to say 100. A lot of people. It's not a hint, gang. Because if it was, and you found the treasure, and you found it as a result of the hint of the geyser thing, the goodbye legacy. Goodbye Forrest Fenn legacies. There can be no connection. There can be no connection between Forrest Fenn. No documented connection between Forrest Fenn and the person that eventually finds this treasure, if the treasure is found, because that would darken the legacy. Okay, and so no, I don't have an opinion on that matter. I think of them both as my friends. I saw your video on Fenn's special place. I'm a new searcher. Wait. Did he? Oh, this is a text message. Why do you think it can be stumbled upon when Fenn says that it can't be? Ugh, here we go again. I don't think he liked my answer to this either, but I'll go ahead and say it. So, who's that? Barry from San Francisco. Silicon Valley noob. So I have a couple of theories on this matter of the special place, but it all relates to the idea that that when Fenn said that the treasure could not be stumbled upon, I looked at that and I said, that's impossible. Nobody can state that, and I can cite from memory 3 examples on which great treasures, whether they're numismatic or monetary or just historical treasures, the Rosetta Stone was stumbled upon. It changed, that stumble upon changed history. It is considered one of the greatest archaeological / anthropological finds in history, and it was stumbled upon. The Dead Sea Scrolls were stumbled upon by a shepherd and his son. One of the greatest, again, one of the historically most important, gave us a whole different perspective on the life and times around the time of Jesus Christ. Stumbled upon. Just recently, I think it was probably early in 2018, late 2017, we actually did a video on it, that Spanish galleon that was discovered on the seafloor with treasure, gold and other treasure valued at $17 billion in today's dollars, and it was discovered accidentally by a seafloor research mapping team from Woods Hole Oceanographic Institute in Massachusetts. So those are 3 examples of treasures that nobody ever expected would be found, because nobody ever expected they would be stumbled upon. Now, I don't know if the guy who inscribed the Rosetta Stone thought to himself, well, let me just hide this someplace so nobody can find it. That, honestly, would be crazy. Now, the Gnostics, who wrote the majority of the Dead Sea Scrolls, did actually hide them intentionally, because they didn't want either the Romans or some of their Jewish, like what were the guys in the temple? I can't remember. Maccabees in the temple. They were hiding them from them because the Gnostics had written a completely different description of the time of Christ than what eventually ended up in the Bible, which was written hundreds of years later, by the way. Anyway, they actually hid them with the expectation that they would never be found except by another Gnostic. And boom, all the Gnostics die, and then they were stumbled upon 2,000 years later. So that's my first problem. It is possible for even the best hidden treasure to be stumbled upon. My second problem with it is very simply, excuse me, drying myself out here. My second problem with it is very simply, if the place in which Fenn was planning to put the treasure, and eventually did, and was, in addition to that, planning to place his body next to that treasure and die, and it was his own special place, how did he find it? How did Forrest Fenn discover his special place? Was he walking along the river one time and this magical being came up and said, Forrest, if you cross the river here, there's a special place? No, that's not how those things happen. I have special places in my life. I'm willing to bet you have special places in your life. And for the majority of those special places become special the moment we discover them and we realize, hey, nobody else knows about this except me. I can tell you, when I was a child, my father took me fishing on the Pecos River above Torero, and he showed me his special place. My father died in 1961. For the longest time, I didn't fish in New Mexico because I was fishing in other places. I came back to New Mexico in 2010, and I went to look for my dad's special place, and it was covered with pickup trucks and campers and things like that. There was no special to it anymore. I didn't even spend time. I took a couple of pictures and left, thinking to myself, well, there's go. So the question I have for you is, think about this. How did Fenn find his special place? A special place that is so special, he thinks it's undiscoverable. Now, and I'm not questioning. So let me clear this up. I'm not questioning Forrest Fenn. He hid a treasure. He hid it in his special place. He believes that it is undiscoverable. I disagree with that. I think his special place can be stumbled over because I further believe that somewhere in his life, he stumbled over that place. It didn't just metastasize in front of him, right? It was stumbled upon once. That means, considering that the population is growing, that we're traveling more, that we're adventuring more, etc., sooner or later, it is likely that someone is going to stumble upon that location. And it will become special for them because there will be a treasure there, and they may or not, I think it's perfectly plausible that the person who finds Forrest Fenn's treasure will have no previous knowledge of Forrest Fenn's treasure. They will be I think Jason did this once. Jason was on one of our panels and we were talking about this, and he said, yeah, they're going to be taking a selfie, and all of a sudden they're going to look over their shoulder in the selfie and they're going to see, like, holy mackerel, is that a chest, a treasure chest? It is just as likely that someone discovers, because they're not going to find it. They're going to discover it. They're going to stumble over that treasure in the same way that other treasures of great import, historical, anthropological, archaeological, etc., have been stumbled over in exactly the same way. Oh, man, are we going to get in trouble for this stuff tonight? Okay, so we got some more questions. Let's see. This is, Christina Jarrett from Georgia. She says, hey, Toby, what are your thoughts on the Madison halting at Frozen Hebgen Lake where warm waters halt? My thoughts is that it is not geographically precise. Therefore, it doesn't qualify as a starting place for a treasure hunt. In order to start a treasure hunt, you have to have a geographically precise location, and that doesn't qualify. Those are my thoughts. You asked. I hope you still think I'm pretty. Okay, this is from 724. This is from Brad from Pennsylvania. Hello, Toby. Why do you suppose girl from India can't get closer than the first two clues? Brad, thank you for the little girl in India can't get closer than the first two clues because she has no way to get here. She can discover the first two clues because they're visible, geographically precise. So that's where the whole canyon down comes from, right? If you do enough Google Earth, you'll realize that if I could pinpoint where warm waters halt, it's going to be associated with the canyon down. First two clues. She can do that on a map. She can do that on Google Earth, however she does it. But after that, she has to be boots on the ground. And Fenn supposed that the little girl in India would never be boots on the ground. We actually did a video about that, I don't know, back in August or September. Take a look at it. We actually talked with a little girl in India, or communicated with. We did. It was a double blind, so we didn't go beyond that. All right. Let's see. This is from area code 615. Sounds West Coast to me, right? Toby, why do you feel Fenn felt the need to put out a revised edition of Once Upon a While with a few changes? Signed, Vanetti. Nice Italian name. Vanetti. Vinny Vanetti. Marketing. Keep the search in the public eye. Have a reason to get some coverage. Didn't make a major announcement, and maybe there were some things that bugged him. You got to remember that when he put out Once Upon a While, it was rushed. I mean, it was a rushed idea, and I'm not even sure that it was his idea. I think what was happening is that the people that had done all this publishing work for him, and I'm never going to remember the name. Shelley can remember their names, Carol and can't remember. It was their idea to publish all this work, and then he hired our friend. I'm not going to try to remember. I'm an old man. I'm going to be 70. I can't remember any of these things. But I don't think Once Upon a While was in the grand scheme of things in the plan. And I think there were some things that he wanted to change about it. And it doesn't cost that much to do the changes if you're not worried about profits. If the profits aren't going to you anyway, they're going to these other folks. And that's another option. The profits from Once Upon a While were committed to his publishers, the man and woman that had been doing all this publishing work for him. Maybe there's an agreement that says, okay, you get the money from the first version of that, but I have plans for the profits of the second version. And maybe he donated those or gave those to somebody else, maybe back to his family, like Too Far to Walk. So that's another possibility. I'd say the first possibility is there were some things about it he didn't like and he wanted to change. The second possibility is he had a whole new set of people that he wanted to benefit by the fact that these books were selling. So I think those are the two options. And the first option includes it's just good marketing, right? Keep it in the public eye. Let's see. No transcript available. So somebody left a voicemail but didn't leave a voicemail. Oh, so this is from a person whose name is Christy. I don't know. She says, this is Christy from Planet Earth. Do you think Stephanie is the 200-foot searcher? I don't. I think the 200-foot searcher was a man. Don't know why, but I don't think it was Stephanie. I think Stephanie covered enough territory that she might be in the group of 500 people, and certainly she was in an area. What you need to do, here'd be an interesting exercise, find out all the places that Dale went. I don't know how many times he went. Then find out all the places where Stephanie went, and then find the ones that are not correlated. What's the right word? Covert one. Help me with the word. What's the word? Co something. Where they don't match, because Fenn said, she said, who's been closer, me or Dale? Now, that doesn't mean it's 200 feet, 500 feet. Maybe for all intents and purposes, she was in the right state and he wasn't. Although I think they searched all the states. But what he said was, if I told her she'd have a heart attack, the implication being that at some point she was closer to the treasure than Dale was. But closer to the treasure than Dale is not defined. So you'd have to figure out how different they are. So, no, I do not think she was the 200-foot searcher. Oh, gosh. Let me see. Okay, revised edition. Oh, here's one from my partner. She's picking up on something that's happening in the chat room. I'm sorry. I'll go back to the chat room in just a minute, see if I can pick up some other stuff. But again, so I'm going to turn on the phone now, and if you want to call and talk, this would be the time to call and talk right now. So you can call me, we can talk, we can have a little chat, everybody can listen to what we're saying, etc., etc. You can continue to send text messages to that to the phone number 1-866-597-9901. That is a toll-free number. It doesn't cost you anything to make that call. Okay, so oh wow. Okay, so we got a voicemail here. So is this from our same friend? Something on the 200-foot search. Oh, did I play this? Oh, this was, from RJ from Alabama. He says, this is a text message from RJ. Remember, Forrest Fenn says the big picture, maybe that special pot is not a tiny little spot. So here's what we think. Our opinion on the special place is that it is not a tiny little spot. It's an area that incorporates the place in which he hid the treasure. At the same time, I don't think it's the size of Yellowstone National Park, but based on the searching that I've done, I run into the places that I would say to myself, hey, this is a nice special place. Brown trout, green grasses, lots of trees, birds singing in the background. Now, where would I put the treasure? So I think that's the context. I think the special place is a little bit bigger than a niche in a rock. That he found the special place, looked around, beautiful water, went through the trees, and then started looking for a hole where he could, or not a hole, sorry, didn't bury it, a niche in a rock where he could put the treasure. So I think we agree on that one. RJ. So Shelley says, Covert 1 and others want to know if you're attending the poker tournament. Ugh. I do not know, and the reason is the poker tournament is taking place at the end of January. We've already got a trip planned out to D.C. Shelley and I are going out to D.C. to celebrate my birthday with my family, and then we're coming back to that, and I'm hosting a couple of parties here in New Mexico. So honestly, I'm going to do like my daughters do. Whenever my daughters celebrate their birthdays, and this was their idea, I didn't have anything to do. Their birthdays last a week. They start on a day, and then they've asked Shelley. She's seen the pictures, and then they party. When they did this, so my ex celebrated her 60th back in October. Libra, married a Libra. All my wives were Libras. But she celebrated her birthday, and they went to Barbados or something like that. They had this big thing like it's your 60th. So when they called me and said, Dad, we want to celebrate your 70th birthday. So their idea was we were going to go to, not St. Thomas. Yeah, St. Thomas, because we had sailed there together, the four of us at the time. And I said, no, I am not going to celebrate my birthday in St. Thomas. So I convinced them to take it down a little bit. We're just going to have a very elegant dinner at a place that they know I like. And then my daughter, Toby Renee, is going to make the cake because she has a degree in culinary arts from Johnson & Wales University. So she's really good at making that stuff. So, but then we're coming back to New Mexico, and I'm throwing a couple of parties to celebrate my 70th here. So we're going to be tied up with partying, and it is very unlikely I'm going to make it to the poker game. Okay, here's a text message from Paul Ammons. If you had to put money on who would find the treasure first, K-Pro or I, who would you put cash on? I don't put cash on anyone, Paul, because I do not believe that anyone is going to find the treasure in our respective lifetimes. So there is no money to bid. I wouldn't put money on anyone or anything, because I think on one side I believe anybody, including people. Wow, that's really loud. Let me take that down just a little bit. Including people who are not necessarily looking for the treasure, have the capability to find it. Like I said, it could be stumbled upon. So if you have a treasure that can be stumbled upon, you can't make a credible bet. because it is just as likely a oops, they hung up on me. Sorry. Oh, no, that's somebody else calling. Okay, 404, if you're calling, I'm already on a call, and who is that? Whoever's on the call, just say hi so I know you're there. Just say hi.
I'm here.
Okay, hold on. And then do me a favor and make sure you turn off your volume on your computer in the background so we don't get an echo. So area code 404, Atlanta, is that Janet? What was her name? What was her name? Jeanette? She's calling, so because that's an Atlanta phone number. So call at the end of this call, 404. All right. Who is this by first name only, and where are you calling from?
Well, this is longtime subscriber, first-time caller. This is Steve calling from Nebraska.
Oh,
How
hey,
you doing
Steve.
tonight,
Steve Gahagan?
Yes.
Oh, hi, Steve. How are you doing? Nice to hear from you.
Good. Nice to hear your voice.
And how are things with you and your family?
Good. We've had a lot of snow here, but it's been fun.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm like everybody else in the community getting a little bit of cabin fever with the off-season.
Yeah, we haven't experienced, well, in Albuquerque, I'm sure in Santa, up north, they've had a lot more snow than we have, but here in Albuquerque, we literally have just not had anything enough to say we've had snow. You know, we got a couple of snowfalls and they melt the following day, so we
Right.
although I don't envy lots of people who are getting that snow. I'm not a big fan, you know. I'll deal
You guys
with it.
have got quite a bit more precipitation this year than compared to last year, though, which
Yeah.
is
Well-
good for hopefully not closing down the forest, the national forest, like
yeah.
they did last year.
Right. And our perspective on the matter is it means we'll have water next summer, right? All that snowfall means that we won't have water shortages next summer. So
Exactly.
So when are you making your next trip out to New Mexico?
Oh, hopefully. Well, like I said, it all kind of depends on the weather. I really want to wait for the snow to completely melt for sure. But I also don't want to wait too long if they start closing forests down because people aren't putting out their campfires properly.
Yeah, exactly.
It was pretty discouraging last season when they started closing them down, and it was basically caused because people weren't putting out their campfires properly.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm hoping to make it out early June if I can.
Well, make sure you let us know. I know Albuquerque is not exactly on the route, but if you can find your way to make it as far north or as far south of Albuquerque, call us and we'll do some dinner or lunch or cocktails.
Definitely, that sounds great.
So,
Definitely.
and you're going to have your family with you?
It'll probably just be me and my Uncle Bill again as well.
Oh, okay. All right.
Unfortunately, it gets pretty expensive trying to take a family of 6 down there.
Yeah, it does. Especially
And
for that
when me
because
and
it's
my
hard to
Uncle
keep
Bill
them.
Go, we rough it pretty good, so we're camping and we're eating out of pretty much our MREs.
Yeah.
So we rough it, and I don't think the kids would enjoy that too
Yeah,
much.
no, MREs are definitely roughing it, but they're cheap and easy.
They're a great way to make a trip inexpensive.
Yeah, exactly. All right, sir. Any commentary on what we've been talking about tonight?
Yeah, I just wanted to call and comment. Again, with the stumbling, I spoke to Pam at the Jamie Jordan event about
Yeah.
this. She asked me how I felt if somebody would find it or if somebody would stumble upon it. And I told her, to me, I think it's about a 50-50 chance, honestly,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
whether a searcher finding it or somebody stumbling across it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I still believe that it has to be a place that you want to go. You're not just going to happen in there.
Right.
But that still doesn't mean that somebody who doesn't just want to go in there couldn't stumble across it.
Yeah. Okay, 404, she's still trying to call. 404, wait till you hear us end this call, and then you can, I think it's that lady from Atlanta that we talked to earlier. I do. I really think it's possible. I don't know how probable it is. That's what I haven't calculated it, because I think you're right.
Yeah,
I think
that's
I
why I say I give it 50-50.
Yeah. I think it requires that it must be in an area where the majority of the population is going. And you've searched areas where you're all alone. We've been in areas where finding other people there, is just, you just don't see them. There's no human trails. There's nobody making trails to the places we go. Occasionally we'll see a fisherman's trail. We see a lot of cow trails because in the areas that we go, they are national forest lands, and so they're being leased out to the cattlemen for feed purposes. So we'll see cattle trails, and we rely on them actually to make our hike easier. But sooner or later, somebody's going to make that hike and come to, not necessarily where we're at, but somebody's going to make a very similar hike, go to a place where they don't want to be, or ride their mountain bike or ATV in a place where nobody else has been, and that's where I see the probability that this might actually take place. So yeah, I think
I agree. I think my area, it can be very secluded.
Yeah.
But it can also be very populated as well.
Yeah.
And that's the 500-foot quote,
Right.
where a lot of people have been within 500 feet, but only a few have been within 2.
Yeah. Yeah. The places that we're at, the Rio de los Pinos that we've been at now for a whole season, a whole year, is not highly populated. But I can't say that we don't see people there. We see hunters there. We occasionally see, and actually we don't see them. There's a car parked. The only contact we've come with anyone was that first time we were out there and we were trying to figure out whether to cross the river, and we made some photos about it. That family came across and got us in their Polaris vehicles, but they were very much focused on playing in the river. As a matter of fact, when we told them, they asked us if there was any place that we wanted to go on the ATVs, and I knew based on Google Maps exactly where I wanted to go, and Lane took us up there and showed us, and I told him the story of the treasure, and these are Mormon folk, so they're very pragmatic, and they looked at me like I was a nut job, like, really, you're doing this? And, like, that's the other thing too. Is it's the other thing too is there's not a lot of people that have interest in this. I mean, as well as I do, you'll tell people who aren't searchers about your story, and they look at you like you're like, okay, I'm going to step away now.
Yeah, and then the first question is, well, do you think that you can really find it?
Yeah.
And, the answer to that is
it has
obviously,
to be.
Well, yeah, I have confidence in myself.
Yeah, it has to be, yes, because if you don't, pull a Toby and go like, I think what happened is I got that question asked one too many times when they said, do you think you could be the one that could find it? And I finally said, you know what? No, I don't think I'm going to find this damn thing. So Shelley and I went and did Udemy. So we're having fun with that.
Yeah, it sounds fun. I'm interested in the content you guys will produce on that.
Yeah, you're going to be able to, what we're basically doing is we took everything that we've learned over the past, not even a whole, well, I guess we started being real active in around March of 2017, but it was this year in 2018 that we really got into the technology, increased performance, started using OBS, did slides and things like that. So this talks all about that. All about all the technology, and it just doesn't talk about it. It explains it in detail. You're going to see these screen captures that do exactly what I do to get on the air, how to do a scrolling text in a lower third, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Well, Toby, and that's why the community loves this channel so much, is because it is so professional, and we can count on you to give us professionalism.
Well, thank you.
It's just great content that you guys always put out. You always have.
I appreciate it. We've really worked at it, and we think that you're going to be excited about seeing how we do it, because it's not rocket science. You do have to spend a little time for it, but we're gonna cut that time down to 4 hours, because everything that we've learned is put into this one Udemy course. So, like I said, as soon as they okay it, we're gonna share it with you, and we're gonna tell you how to get there. We'll show you a couple of the videos that we made. I was gonna do another one. I was gonna show you guys another one, because when you put something on Udemy, you give away a couple of the lectures. Basically, you let people, get a little taste of what you're doing. So when we get to that point, I'll share those with you, but I don't know what they're going to be because we just like I said, we're waiting for Udemy to approve the course. But Shelley already has started working on course number 2. I've started working on courses 3 and 4. So we're just going to keep doing this. We're gonna be the Louise Crofts of New Mexico but we're not going to travel the world. So take a look at her.
You guys got a whole community of people that are willing and waiting for the content.
Well, we look forward to it. We'd love to share it with you, and that's why we want to share it at a discount, because we think if anybody deserves it, it's the 3,900 subscribers that have stuck with us thus far. So.
Exactly.
All right, sir.
On a side note,
yeah.
I was telling my wife about all your near-death experiences, and on Facebook the other day there was one of those memes about a man who had been struck twice by lightning and death, and then his grave marker was struck by twice.
Oh, my goodness.
And she immediately thought of the stories that I told about you.
I was struck by lightning.
I encourage you to write a book, Toby, because you got way too many good stories, not to keep them all to yourself.
You know what? That's what Shelley says. Shelley's always saying, just write this down. She's always telling me to, read them into a recorder and she'll transcribe them. But I'll tell you, the guy that I knew, his name was Bucky McGee. I worked with his wife. In the summers when I was in college, I would come home and I would work for the Department of Automated Data Processing in Santa Fe. And there was a woman there whose name was Catherine McGee. And she was married. Her husband was married. And she was on the nature woman scale of womanhood. She was, she was pretty, but in a very natural way. And her husband worked for the National Forest Service. And his name was Bucky. I never knew his real name. Every time I met him, he was Bucky McGee. It actually sounded kind of funny. He was struck 7 times, including 4 times when he was riding a horse and 2 times when the horse died and he didn't. So that was yeah, exactly. It killed the horse, but not Bucky. I don't know why. Maybe because the horse was grounded and he wasn't. I don't know. He was struck 7 times, and he wouldn't tell you the stories. It was Kate that told me the stories about how they'd have to drag him down from the mountains and resuscitate him and all these other things. So he's kind of the record in my books. I was happy with one. That's enough.
Yeah, I would be too.
That's the only experience I want with that little big thing. Yeah. So 1983, Mount Elbert. 1983,
wow.
Mount Elbert in Colorado. So, all right, well, say hi to your wife and your kids and tell them that I'm sorry we won't be seeing them next summer, but make sure that they watch the show, because this is my hi to Steve Gahagan's wife and children. I think your daughters, right? You're all daughters? Is that you?
2 daughters and 2 sons.
2 daughters and 2 sons. Hi, 2 daughters and 2 sons.
Yep.
From Steve the Gahagan family.
I will let them know. Too.
All right, sir. So
thank you very much.
Nice talking to you again. We'll look forward to seeing you in the spring.
Will do.
Take care.
Goodbye.
All right. 404, missed call, left a voicemail. No, left no voicemail. Okay, 404, Atlanta. This would be the time to call before somebody beats you to it. So let me see who else has come into the room while we're doing this. I thought I saw Sean. Did I see Sean Martinez? So I can't go all the way up in the chat. So let me just go through some. There's Brit Chaser. We played Brit Chaser, but he had to get to bed. Jerry Stone, new name, didn't know it. Jungle Cruisers in the house. Easy Street, cool. I like that name. We said hi to Joel, and Michael is in. We played his. Jason Northface. I don't know what he's past. He says he's past that. I'm not sure what Jason is past. Zoe the Cat's in the house. Let's see. CB Baseball 7. CB Baseball 7. There's something about that. I need to figure what that one is. Let's see. Hi there. Zoe the Cat. Adam Foddy. Hey, Adam. Wow, you are up late. Brit Chaser bailed on us, said it was too late. He was going to watch the replay. So Adam Foddy's in the room. Let's see. Who else? Michael O'Connell. That's a good Irish name. Good Irish name. Michael O'Connell. Let's drink a beer to that. A little bit of Guinness there. He's still alive, and he's going back there. Oh, I'm sorry I missed that conversation. T. Brown, softer side, LOR, Fenn killed the guy. No, I'm not saying that Fenn killed the 200-foot searcher. I think the 200-foot searcher died from natural causes. He just passed away. That's why I think. That's why I think Fenn talks about him. Capro says Toby is so frickin' smart. Frickin' apparently is an acceptable adjective to define or to describe intelligence. Frickin'. Let's see. Maybe he's dead because he was so close that Forrest felt a need to bump him. Yeah, see, Adam's getting there. No, I don't think that Forrest had anything to do with the death. I don't, and if that sounded like I was implying that, I did not mean to imply that Fenn had anything to do with the death of the 200-foot searcher. I just think the 200-foot searcher died of natural causes or a broken heart. Because he couldn't find the treasure. No, he died a natural death. Just little old guy, little Toby guy, went out, had a heart attack. So that's where they'll find me. They'll find me one day. They'll find me out there in the Rio de los Pinos, and I'll have killed over from a heart attack, and the ICD wouldn't have gone off, or it would have gone off, and I was too far gone to feel it. I shouldn't talk like that. Okay, I'm happy to be alive. I like being alive. It's a lot more fun to be alive, don't you think? Redneck Express is in the house. Let's see. Who else? That was a nice talk with Steve Gahagan. He's a good guy. I like him a lot. From Nebraska. Very, down to earth. Midwestern. Healthy, Midwesterners are like that. Mitzi Moore in the house. Checking Dead Horse Park. What is that? Covert 1? Co-located. That's what I was looking for. Covert 1. So if you can take all of Stephanie's adventures and compare them, it would be the antithesis of co-located. And you look at all of Dale's adventures, find the one in which Stephanie was at a location that Dale wasn't. So it's the opposite of co-located, because Fenn said if I told her she'd have a heart attack, again, the implication being that somehow or the other Stephanie was closer to the treasure. There was no indication that she was the 200-foot searcher. She was simply closer. That could mean, the treasure was in New Mexico and she took the I know she did take the Cumbres and Toltec Railroad, so she could have been close to the treasure. And I don't know that Dale... Oh, let me think about that. Here's a question for somebody to research. Did Dale Neitzel ever take the Cumbres and Toltec Railroad? Is there any indication in all his writings that he took the Cumbres and Toltec Railroad? Because Stephanie and her husband did take the Cumbres and Toltec tour, which means... she was at the Rio de los Pinos. Well, not at the Rio de los Pinos. She would have traveled along and above the Rio de los Pinos. So maybe, this is a pure Toby hypothesis, maybe because Stephanie took the Cumbres and Toltec Railroad and Dale never took the Cumbres and Toltec Railroad trip, Stephanie was closer, and she would have had a heart attack to find that out. That she was probably looking down into that Rio de los Pinos river valley down there from the Cumbres and Toltec Railroad train 500 feet above and thinking to herself, I'll bet you the treasure is down there. Dale never had that opportunity, okay? So maybe she was. So maybe Stephanie was closer. K-Pro is agreeing with me on something, which is always a dangerous thing to do. Marty Bird, Jeremy Parnell. Hi, Jeremy. Gosh, I don't think I've ever seen you in one of my chats. Nice to see you. Christina Jarrett, my Atlanta. This would be the time to call. Phone lines are open until if somebody beats you to it. I can't be responsible for it. So either that or leave a voicemail. If somebody does call, leave a voicemail. So, because I like those Southern accents. Okay, Brit Chaser, you are in the room. Here, Brit Chaser, I'm going to do this one more time because I can see you in the room now. Apparently. there for you. So Covert 1, I don't think there's a lot of 200-foot chasers. I think there was one. I think there's a lot of 500-foot. Oh, okay. Jeremy says I lurk. Okay, I guess, because that's the first time I've ever seen the name. I forgot what I was going to say. What was I talking about? Oh, Covert 1, there are several 200-foot. I don't think so. I think there's one 200-foot searcher who is now dead, but I think there are people who have been within 500 feet, not searchers. Rick Hajovsky, is that the guy that wrote the Lost Kivas? That's one of those, again, that's one of those things from 937. That's not, Atlanta, you missed it again. Let me open this one up and see who we're from here. Okay. Hey, caller. You're on the line. Make sure your volume is off on your computer because I can already hear the background. We're getting an echo, so turn your volume down. And then tell me who you are and where you're calling from. Or not?
Oh, God.
Yeah, you're on. Oh, God. No, this is Toby. Oh, God. We just heard the, oh, God, and then they hung up. Like, didn't have a plan. So that was area code 937. Yes, I can see your phone number on here, so it does come through. Not that I'll ever use it. I'm not going to call you back, for God's sakes. So, sorry, didn't mean to panic you. Please call again. I'm usually a very nice guy when it comes to these things. Okay. Let me see. Paul Emmons. Justin Watts. Hey, Justin, how are you doing? Justin always has some really good ideas that he throws at me when I say stuff. So during the Christmas holiday, we went to play poker at my son Jason's house, and he and my daughter Sean ended up splitting the pot, but I was the last third, so it's a $20 buy-in. But then Sean gave us all scratcher tickets because she gets free scratchers because she does scratcher art, and I got my $20 back on my scratcher ticket, so I haven't cashed it in yet, but I thought that was kind of good. So. Yeah, I would love to go play. I've always wanted to play. As a matter of fact, I've been practicing by playing WSOP online and making a little bit of money. I'm okay with that, but I probably won't make it out to the poker tournament. The Fenn. What are you calling it, K-Pro? You have a name for it. The World Series of Fenn. So I would love to be there, but I'm just going to be too busy celebrating my birthday. Although celebrating in Las Vegas would be a hell of a time because what happens in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas, doesn't it? That would be a hell of a birthday party. But isn't the CES around that time? So there's a big... I used to go to NAB all the time in Las Vegas and CES. And the reason they have to continue doing them in Las Vegas is it's the only place big enough for those. Those are probably the two big... Oh, no, I'm sure there are others. From my perspective, the two biggest... not conferences, but conventions, or NAB, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the CES, Consumer Electronics something. What does the S stand for? Anyway, I used to go to both of those in Las Vegas, and I think they're about this time, aren't they? So are you guys planning to have the poker tournament around the time that one of those big, because make your hotel reservations now, because once those two conferences are in town, you cannot get a hotel room. You used to have to get those hotel rooms, 6 months in advance in order to make it. I used to love NAB. They used to show all the new production technology. It was a lot of fun. Oh! Hi, Christy. See, I don't even have to guess who this is. You pop up.
Hi, Toby.
Pop up
How
on
are
my
you?
channel. I am fine. I'm having a great time. And you?
Oh, fabulous. I made it through the holidays and traveling, and life could not be better.
Where did you travel? I wasn't aware that you were traveling.
It's a really magnificent thing when you become, you go from the adored child to having grandchildren.
Yeah.
You go from adored to, I'll just say adored to ignored.
Oh, wow.
So
okay.
I went from adored to ignored, and I love it. But I will say it is a good transition. Yeah. So I was able to bring grandchildren and grandkids together, which seems to be now my lot in life. That's the transition I have in life right now.
And I think my daughters have kind of accepted the same thing. I don't go to see them. I go to see the grandchildren mostly because they're so adorable, although I very much love my daughters. So how is the map thing coming along? That's really in partnership with Mike, right? How's that coming along?
Yeah, so Mike is leading that effort, and so I will say the initial map orders we had last time I talked to Mike, we've more than broken even, but now we're going to get creative with maybe some package maps and some other things. I will say if we did the if you buy 2 maps you get a silver coin. We're thinking of shutting that down in the next month or so, and then maybe transitioning those coins to other things. We haven't fully talked about that, but he has caught up. He took he was about a week backlogged, and that made some people upset. But he has kids and life and work and all that, so. Hopefully there was a couple of people saying, why didn't I hear back from you within a day? We're trying to swing it. So he is the map guy. I am actually the shirt person. So shirts and sweatshirts for the World Series of Fenn, I have oddly become the person for that. And I think we've gotten about 15 pre-orders, and we're going to order those on Monday. So those will be fun. And that design is fabulous. And we have about, I want to say over 30 right now for the World Series of Fenn, and you better be there. I don't care what you say. You better be there. You better.
Maybe I'll figure something out because I love playing. You know how much I love playing poker. So, so the other question I was going to ask you is the series of silver coins. Have you announced plans for that this spring? Is that already started? What's going on with the silver coins? Besides doing map things.
And I'm not following it exactly. We gave 2 of the coins to Shannon, and she has already started her
she's done a treasure hunt. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, and she has a bunch of, I haven't followed it enough to know if she is doing first, second, third, or how it's going, but she has a couple coins. Mike has a couple coins, and I have just started the solutions for the 4 search states. I want to get in touch with you to see if you want to do some. And then the Northeast is covered, and then I just got the North kind of Midwest. A searcher reached out, and that's going to be covered as well.
Oh, so
we're
you're
working on that right now as we speak.
You're spreading it beyond the Rocky Mountain area?
Yeah, all 50 states, I will say, and Canada. Europe is a possibility. There was going to be some European travelers, and that may or may not happen, so we're not sure exactly yet, but that's happening. And then I will say the function in the Junction is happening the weekend after Father's Day weekend.
Late June?
I was just asked last night in the middle of a live show if I will do the Fennbury. That one's still in work. I won't commit to that one, but I will commit to the function in the Junction. So there's a couple things. There's lots of things in work, but we'll just continue to everything's on Cal's channel, and we'll continue to do that. But
so
it's a week-to-week kind of thing.
The function in the Junction is the Cynthia Meacham-based event up in the Yellowstone area. Is that right? Or is she turning it over to you?
This year she wasn't. Yeah, she's not willing to organize it. She's willing to attend. There was just too many logistics.
Yeah.
I hadn't been up north and for an event, and I said, well, let me organize it, and as long as you attend and help me a little, let's do it. And then, of course, we kind of we put a little lasso around Mike, and Mike has said he's going to come too, and that's the dream team. That was the Jamie team. And as long as you and Shelly come too, that's like the full dream team.
The function
I
and the
know
junction.
we're not going to make you guys come, but
No.
yeah, we want you to come.
I mean, we can come. I have no problems, being with Searcher. I may not search. But the other thing, too, is it was funny because Courtney Roberts, what's her name? Copper?
Yeah, Copper.
Contacted me, and I hadn't heard from her in a long, long time. And she asked if I was going up to Yellowstone in June. And I didn't know what she was talking about. So she brought it up, and I told her, I wrote her back, and I said I hadn't made any plans. And then she wrote back, and it was real short. You know how she is. She assumes that everybody knows everything. And she said, "Oh, you have to be there." So now I know what she was talking about. I didn't, at the time she was talking about it, I didn't know what she was talking about it. So that'll be fun.
Well, yeah, and 2 weeks ago we said, let's wait until after the World Series of Fenn, but so many people have said, we're making our arrangements now. So we're trying to get it all organized. And I will say the Santa Fe event may not happen, but definitely the function in the junction and the obviously the Vegas event is going to happen. We already have the dates, but people are asking where should they stay and this and that. And we're trying to focus on the Vegas event. And and we have the date set for that, and we'll put that out in the next week or two.
If you don't mind me saying so.
And we put it out last night. I just don't remember.
I think that whether it's Fennbury or Function in the Junction, I mean, the Function in the Junction event just kind of has its name set in Yellowstone. But if I was going to do Fennbury, I'd want it in some place that is a lot easier to get to than Santa Fe. And then the problem, of course, is that Fenn's not going to travel to that location. So I think that's the struggle. You decide whether or not Fennbury requires maybe, like you're doing the World Series of Fenn, I don't imagine there's going to be an expectation that Fenn's going to show up at the World Series of Fenn. So I think people will go to an event at which Fenn may or may not show up, as long as they're with other searchers. So. Did I lose you?
Right. In the World Series of Fenn, he has been invited, and his family's been invited. They have not RSVP'd, so I would say no, just like the Yellowstone event. And if there is going to be one, and that's the thing. And Cynthia kind of caught me off guard because I didn't think it should be out. Forrest had asked Cynthia and I to organize it. I hesitated a little bit because there's a lot of logistics. If you want to do a really good event, it's not just an hour of activity. It's a lot of logistics. Yeah. And so I kind of stumbled a little bit, and everybody was like, do it. I will not commit yet until there was a few things when Forrest asked Cynthia and I, would you please do it? We said, well, there's a few things that we want to make sure happen, like, is he going to attend? Where would he attend? Would he sign books? Those sorts of things that I will not touch unless happen, because I just don't want to set expectations and then make searchers upset. So that one, I will say, out of the things that are happening, the Vegas one, absolutely happening. The Function in the Junction is just starting to get organized now. The Fennbury is kind of a third horse in the race. Yeah. And if someone local wants to help, great. There's lots of people there. I'm nowhere near it. So, but I know Cynthia said she really wants to organize it with me if it's going to be organized. And that one's a 50-50.
But you did say that Fenn has committed to Fennbury. Is that correct?
I'll just say he asked Cynthia and I to organize it.
Okay, all right.
I won't say more than that. Okay. I will say, like I am known to be a little aggressive. I said, well, we're not going to do it unless you're actually there. And he was like, I'm going to be there. But that doesn't mean this was the beginning of discussion. Yeah. This was not like the final orchestration.
You have enough time to plan it. Doesn't have to be.
I need to talk with Cynthia and Forrest and family and everybody else. And after more than anybody, after the Jamie event, there's so many logistics that have to be organized. Mm-hmm. That is truly the third horse in the race.
All right. Well, we'll keep an eye out for all of them. I think everybody would know. I mean, the function. I was surprised at the number of people that attended the function in the Junction last year because it wasn't, it was promoted so little. I mean, Cynthia talked about it, but there was a lot of people there. We did have people at this year's Fenbury, but not as much as usual because it wasn't outdoors, I think. But I think searchers are still interested in getting together and having the conversation. So I look forward to all of them.
Right. I agree.
All right. Well, thank you for bringing us up to date on all the activities. That was very kind of you.
Yes.
Thoughtful of you to
chatting with you. Happy New Year, Toby and Shelley.
Happy New Year to you too. Thank you. I hope your 2019 is twice as healthy, happy, and prosperous as your 2018 was. So, and you don't.
Gotcha.
Bye-bye. And you don't even have to do Udemy courses to get there. So.
No, I do.
All right. We'll talk to you later. Thanks for calling in.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, so we got some text messages remember, he says he thinks big picture, treasures in the area, Moby Dickens 200 feet searcher at 8:30. He says it's 8:30, quick says she. That's right. He says she. Yeah. Moby Dickens. I think he was, I don't know. RJ, Stephanie was not at Moby Dickens, so I don't know if he was referring to her or not. Yeah, I think he was just answering a question. So, hey, Joby. Hey, Joby. Missed the T on it. Hey, Toby. It's Troy, so why must I go? Oh, hi, Troy. Are you in the room? Is why must I go in the room? Did I miss him? Hi, why must I go? Brian Eagle. Hey, Brian Eagle. Wow. A lot of people in the room. Sorry I missed you guys all. So it's from Troy. He says, so why must I go? And I just want to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And I'm checking on your show. Welcome back. Talk to you later. So Troy, very nice to hear from you. Thank you for your wishes for a Happy New Year. And same to you. I hope you and your family celebrate 2000 or have a 2019 that's, as I said, twice as prosperous, healthy, and happy as your 2018. Although 2018, for all its, don't get me into that, politics. I don't want to talk politics right now. So let's see, we're 8:41 and couldn't convince Atlanta to try it again. So, all right, I have run out of questions to answer, I think. Let me see. Let me go back up here and make sure I said hi to everybody. Jerry Stone, Rick Mugridge. Yeah, that's a new name. He drove all the way across country from West Virginia to New Mexico. I used to get my health care in West Virginia, right on the border with Virginia at that VA hospital there. It starts with an M. I can't remember it now. Let me see. What was it? Something town? Morristown? Something. Good people. I liked the people of West Virginia. They were fun. Let's see who else is in the room. So, wow, a lot of new, well, I don't want to say a lot of new names, a lot of old timers showing up tonight. Christina Jarrett from Atlanta keeps trying, but calls when everybody else is on the phone. So, okay, guys, let's call it a night. I do want to remind you that show, you may or may not be a fan of John Wayne Bobbitt. He is a searcher. He happens to be our friend. He doesn't have everybody on his side. You know, he's had his moments in life. But ABC, and I think it's the Nightline, is having a 3-part series on him starting tonight at 9 o'clock our time. So I'm going to watch that. I promised him I would. And he lives in Las Vegas, so I'm sure if I don't know, K-Pro, if you've contacted him, but he lives in Las Vegas, so we got to make sure he is at your poker game because I'm sure he'd have a great time. And he plays poker. He's entered the World Series of Poker a couple of times. He hasn't gotten, he paid his $10,000 or probably lost it, which is where I'd be. I made a deal with him once that he wanted to do a documentary on that story between him and Lorena, and he wanted to do it from his side. And I said, there is no side here. You just want to tell your story. And I told him I'd come out and record his story, that I would do it if he paid for my entry fee into the World Series of Poker. And, of course, he agreed. So I don't know how serious he is with that, but he's a nice guy. He's a very gentle person. I don't know what he was like earlier in life. I've heard stories, but he seems now to have lost all of that negative energy and is just trying to get through life. And he's an okay guy. I think of him as my friend. So I hope you don't think of me in a negative way because Martinsburg, that's right, Martinsburg. That's where I used to get my health care, at the VA hospital there in Martinsburg. So, okay. I don't think we're going to make it to 9, but that's okay too. Thanks for watching tonight. Oh, here we go. One more call. Here we go. Atlanta. Let me take this call from Atlanta. Hey, is this Christina? Christina? Is this you? Can you hear me? Oh, she hung up. How do we get that far and then she hangs up? So this is from area code 606. We don't know who this is from. So 606, send me another text message and tell me who you are and where you're coming from. The person says, just sending a text because it's cool. Oh, it's Jeremy. Hi, Jeremy. Sending a text to Udemy is a great idea. I'm currently taking a 13-hour course on UX design, solid platform. Wow. 13-hour course. Congratulations. And for those of you who haven't visited Udemy, Udemy, it's a place where people build courses on a broad variety of topics and find something, and they're really inexpensive. I mean, I don't know what Jeremy is paying for this course on UX, but, you know, because he's a technical person. I know he's a developer, web developer, and he does graphic arts, etc., etc. But Udemy is a heck of a platform, and if you go there, just look at the courses. There are all kinds of courses there, and we thought we could fit in, and we were very excited because, you know, what's her name? Louise Croft, digital nomad girl, was inspirational. And like I said, she gave Shelley this coupon that let us look at her videos on how to produce Udemy courses because she makes a living. So let me put it this way, and I think I've said this before. She makes the kind of living that allows her to do nothing but travel all over the world. That's what she does for her living besides the Udemy courses. So it can be very rewarding financially. And honestly, for years, I've always said, God, I've got so much to talk about. And I didn't have the patience. I've never had the patience to be able to write a book, etc. I like shooting, man. I like shooting film and editing film. I like doing that. But with Louise's inspiration and Shelley's motivation and Shelley's baseball bat, we got it done. And I'm very proud of the fact that we did. And it was relatively painless, and I really enjoyed it. And I'm looking forward to our next courses. And Shelley's got, we're using our Video Tarot brand, and she's got courses already up there, keeping us busy for the next, 10 years if I live that long. So who has time to search for treasure? I'm making courses with Shelley Carney, baby. So that's my life. It's a pretty good life. I'm not complaining. That is not a complaint. All right, guys, let's hang it up here. Let's do, where's my outro? There we are. So I just want to say thank you. Oh, jeez. Okay. I'm going to hang on. I got to turn this off. I'm going to take a call. I got a call here on my outro. So let's take this, see who we're from. Hey, it's Toby.
All right, guys. Let's hang it up here.
Okay, first thing you're going to have to do is turn down the volume on your computer so we don't get the echo. Oh, they hang up. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go with our outro again. All right. This is Toby Younis with a Gypsy's Kiss on A Gypsy's Kiss. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight with my partner in the room, moderating everybody. Did she beat up on any of you guys? She's got a bat, I'm telling you. She's tough. Shelley Carney, look for our Udemy channel, our Udemy courses. We'll talk about it more next week. Thanks for joining us tonight. And thanks for getting us to 3,900 subscribers. We're very happy with that. We'll keep doing this. We'll see you next Friday. We may see you before that if we decide to talk about the course. Okay? So we'll come on Tuesday and talk about the course. All right? Thanks for joining me tonight. Have a great Friday night.